What's going on, people? Welcome back to episode 18 today of the career mode. This one is a purely Bundesliga filled episode. No Champions League games after that. I'd call it a little bit of a mini heart attack in the last episode. We faced Atletico Madrid, went right down to the wire. I guess you guys want to check that out. If you haven't already seen it, do check out yesterday's episode so you guys can see what the result was, how it all panned out and all of that good stuff. But to let you guys know, the draw has now been made, of course, because I've finished the game that we played. We've been drawn against Roma in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, so that will feature next episode. As I mentioned, today's one, it's all about the Bundesliga. And you know what? I never even gave us a chance at the start of the season of this Bundesliga title. But as we approach match day 24, we find ourselves top of the Bundesliga table. Not only are we top, but we're lone top. We have nobody else sharing the points with us like we were with Hertha Berlin momentarily previously. This time, we are all on our own at that top spot. So potentially, by the end of the episode, we might be in a celebratory move. We'll find out if that's going to be the case at the end of these 15 minutes or not. But the first game against Ingolstadt started off brilliantly. You guessed it, it's that guy again, Robin Manole, who actually got us underway with the goals. He cut inside on the right foot and finished it off. I've got to say, I do believe that Nyland should have saved this, but I can't give him too much hassle because he had an unbelievable game here against us. He saved Ingolstadt quite a few times in the game, and surprisingly, actually, he wasn't the only young player on the pitch out there today. We had a debut of a Venezuelan central midfielder. You may have seen me swapping around the team and throwing him into the mixer just before I actually got into this game. And that was because we actually had an injury, a little bit of a fitness issue with Lucas Torreira. So we started a young 17-year-old Venezuelan midfielder. I can't remember what the name of him was. I know his first name was Ivan, so that's what I'm going to call him for this first part. But yeah, that typical thing happened again, where we don't defend crosses. We've got quite a small side here at Hamburg, and a side that when it comes to getting balls in our box, we don't generally deal with them very well at all. And so Ingolstadt, when they got that corner, the first time of us really asking to be defending, and we weren't able to come up with the goods. So that made it 1-1. But then luckily for us, we were able to actually get a very, very dubious penalty. I said it before, I'll always say this. Whenever it's up in the air and it touches a hand of a defender, there's always that possibility. But they do give them a little bit too easy in this game sometimes. Edwards jumping up, it literally hits him on the hand, goes out, and that then makes the referee point to the spot, which Bobby Reed was the man to take this spot kick with no feet up on the field of play. But Reed does convert it to give us back the advantage that we had momentarily previously. So there we go. Ingolstadt 1, Hamburg 2. At least we got back in front after conceding that headed goal from the corner. So at least we showed a little bit of character and heart to do that. And that was what I titled last episode. Gaelano, that's his name. That's the name of that Venezuelan central midfielder, Gaelano. So he's actually 17. Not quite as good as Robin Manole, as we see a third goal appear just before the break. This one coming from Kostic, and he fired it into the bottom corner. So yeah, not quite at Robin Manole's level yet, even Gaelano, but he still looks pretty good. I mean, he did the basics right. He was in there. And you guys know, when I play with this Hamburg side, the way we play, it involves our central midfielders so much. We move the ball from side to side very, very quickly, trying to open up space. So with Torreira out of the team, I was slightly worried about our defensive aspect of it and about being able to control it from that midfield area. But I've got to say this. Galeno stepped in. He did a great job. And I have to show you the stats after the game as we do come away with a 3-1 win for the opening game of today's episode. Because if I actually take a look at this, he was a very, very good performer. I know the plaudits are going to give it to Manole because, again, he was phenomenal, scoring a goal and I think assisting another one, as we see Lewis Holtby picking up man of the match. But look, passes, Galeno won it. He was the highest pass maker on the team. Dribbles complete, highest dribbles completed on the team. So clearly, although he came into the side, he's actually a 65 rated midfielder at the moment, and he actually got an assist. So even though he came into the side and had big boots to fill in Lucas Torreira's boots, he played his part, So clearly we've got a player there alongside Robin Manole to look forward to for the future. So the Venezuelan now might be thrown into our training sessions and seeing what we're going to do to try and get him growing nicely to an overall where I'll feel confident to have him in the side a lot. And that is just a nice breath of fresh air. New players coming through the youth academy is always a bonus. And I'm glad to have another one alongside Robin, who scored for this second consecutive game as well. Scoring the first one in this game against Hoffenheim here. He ended up getting 3 for himself overall in a 4-1 win. They did actually miss a penalty, but a hat-trick from Robin Manole in this game. The kid is brilliant. I always say it. I've said it how many times now, but he is just something else, I swear. He picked up another player of the month here as well, rightfully deserving of that one. We've had Torreira on 2, and I think that might be Manole's 3rd this year so far. So he's clearly getting his plaudits as well as we are coming to the back end of this Bundesliga season. And if we win the title, you've got to admit it's all down to the brilliance of Magical Manole. That is the name of you guys that need to remember it, because he is sensational. So after that 4-1 win against Hoffenheim, which is a big win against a tough side, especially when we're simming it, is another weird thing to think about. I didn't even have to play that game, and we were able to win it. So clearly, something is going very right here. But we then took on Bayer Leverkusen and trying to get another victory. We had our full-strength lineup back for this. Torreira in the midfield, Bentancur as well. And Manole assisted the opener. Feet up, back in the lineup today. He scored the opener as well inside 7 minutes. But it was created by Robin Manole, who yet again is having an outstanding episode. You can see him. I mean, look at him there. He's clearly integrated himself into the team. And for a 16-year-old to do this, you know, there's a lot of factors you've got to think about, which you don't necessarily realise when you're looking at it from a screen, watching it on. But for a 16-year-old kid come into a team where there's grown men, you know, players that are going to give him a hard time on the field, that goes to the training pitch and out there. It's a massive, massive step up, and he is certainly coming to the mark and showing why he's capable of it. The game against Leverkusen, though, I've got to be honest, I felt really confident. You know, we were playing well. We'd already won 3-1. We'd won 4-1 after that, so morale was quite high. So you can see the way we're playing as well. We're so direct on the ball that it's difficult for Leverkusen to defend it. But they did actually get a chance themselves. Andreas, I think this is Pereira playing now for Bayer Leverkusen. They actually had Golovin as well, who just come on here for Bender as this corner was about to be whipped in. And again, it comes from a corner, which I was really worried about. But this time, Jedvadic's header goes over the top of the crossbar. But we didn't win it. You know, another example of where a ball has been put into our box and we're not winning the header. So a bit of a worry there. But at least we still had the lead with 10 minutes to go. We tried something from the free kick. It came to Torreira, whose shot was saved by Bernd Leno. Eventually, we get the ball back here after a really, really poor clearance from Andreas. I think, as I said, Pereira puts it wide. But then, from the throw-in, Halanovic whips the ball in, and I've got to say, Davis has to do better. He's got to score. He's got to score, man. I keep saying it. The finishing is letting him down recently, because if he had it, he would be one heck of a player. Galano came off the bench in order to actually play a part in the game. Not a massive one, but just look at the celebrations from him. You saw him there right at the end of your screen as he touched the ball there. The fist pumping. He's only featured in 2 Bundesliga games, but clearly he is feeling how important this is for Hamburg. You know, in 2 years, we've taken them from a side where in real life they were relegated to getting them Champions League football by just about finishing 4th to potentially a Bundesliga title. It's like the stuff of dreams. So in the game week of number 27, when we had the visit of Schalke, this is going to be a massive test. You know, they've got a good side, a side that will cause problems. The 5 at the back is difficult to break down. But I just felt, again, high confidence, high morale, we were going to get chances, and if we could take them, even better. But it was actually the away side who got the first opportunity. Mario Gaspar down the right-hand side, feeding Bergstaller, and he put the ball in. Not on the first time of trying, but the second time after Paul Lopez made the initial save. Unfortunately, couldn't quite keep it out, and they did get themselves in front. Do bear in mind, though, guys, I did have to change the side around massively here because we did have a game 2 days after this against Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. So, again, it comes down to that fixture list, and it's not well presented by the, the people at EA, because we're doing having games when we shouldn't have them. You know, 2 days is not long enough. I mean, or even a day's rest is what we had pretty much from this game to the Bayern game. So I had to change around the side, and even with the change around side, we were still able to find an equaliser. Actually, pretty quickly after we fell a goal to 0 down, Lewis Holtby finishing this one into the bottom corner after a nice move. Bobby Reed putting him through. His second of the season in the Bundesliga, and my goodness me, what an important goal that one could be inside the 18th minute. So, Schalke 1, Hamburg 1. Can't celebrate yet, though, because we've still got a job to do. You know, it's still up in air. And, of course, I'm not showing you the league table just to kind of let you guys keep it on a bit of a cliff edge as to where we currently are. Galano back in the side tonight to see if he can make the difference. And I felt so bad for Mario Gaspar, who had done ever so well in the game, you know, to actually create the chance initially for Schalke. And they defended good. But I just felt like it was a matter of time before we break them down. We did it, and it was just a horrible way to concede, man. For Mario Gaspar, he had 2 options here. He either tries to get something on it and put it over the top of the crossbar, which he didn't do. He put it in his own net. Or he leaves it and hopes that Rebic doesn't actually put it in. Which in the end, he chose the first one. Rebic, you could say, fouls him on the way through. and he actually puts it into his own net. Here I was deciding that I was going to make a change, and then I thought to myself, with the game against Bayern, I simply can't do it. So I actually didn't make the change, but yeah, horrible way to concede a goal, especially for Mario Gaspar's sake. He didn't deserve that. He had a good game here for Schalke. But they didn't give up. Leon Goretzka, we know the danger he possesses, but this is the problem. Centre-back-wise, too much time. Too much time for the Schalke man to pick his spot. I've got to say, it's one hell of a finish, but this is why Van Drongel won't get to that stage where we thought he potentially will. He's not going to be good enough to be a starting centre-back here. He started a lot of games last year for us in the Bundesliga, but this year he's had to take a step back, and this is the reason why. He shouldn't be giving his man this much time in the box. You've got to get closer. You've got to stop that ball coming in as well from the midfield area. But when that ball does come in, you've got to deal with it. He doesn't do. It's one hell of a finish, as I said, from Harit, and it pulled Schalke back level at 2-2. So both teams really giving it their all during this game. Rebic now looks for the overlapping run of Stefan Zuber, gets it as well. Zuber's initial shot, well saved, but it falls, and you're just thinking, Bobby, put it in. But unfortunately, he tries to get on it, is unable to do it. Then we lay it out towards Davis. His delivery into the box caused no ends of problems. And my goodness me, you're not going to get an easier goal than that, Bobby. Just taps it in. Again, it's horrible from Schalke's perspective, but for us, this is the luck that you need. If you're going to go on to win a league title, you need a little bit of luck here and there. And that's what we got right there. Farman comes out to deal with it. It's not good communication from Schalke. And for the second time in the game, it basically is an own goal. So from their perspective, they're going to feel so annoyed and so angry with themselves because defensively, not quite there tonight. They had a lot of mix-ups, a lot of mistakes made. And on another day, they could have easily stolen a point away because that's what it was. It was a steal. They only had 2 shots and they would have scored them both pretty much. So not a lot you can do other than try and keep you calm and try and keep moving forward and keep going. Again, we were dominant, held the possession, had more chances. And that's been the likely thing that's happened throughout this season. But sometimes we haven't got the result. But there tonight, we got it done. So there you go. Good result to get. A 3-2 win. Yes, we rode our luck, but we need that sometimes. And now the final game of the episode coming at the Allianz Arena. If we win this one here against Bayern, party can begin to celebrate because going into game, we were 9 points clear with 7 games remaining. So theoretically, if we're losing this league title from here, we have to take a long, hard look at ourselves. And Robin, my goodness me, what a chance this is right from the start of the game inside 10 minutes. Works it well enough himself. And I very, very nearly was jumping up to celebrate because I thought he'd scored the opener. But where Bayern was concerned, their best chance of this first half came from Kingsley Coman after he found his way through eventually. A nice pass from, I think it was Lewandowski in the end, finds him. And he just about squeezes a shot away, which goes wide of the post. So the first half came to a close after a very, very close one indeed. And it was all about us just trying to, kind of find our feet. Bayern's press was good in this second half, and they caused me no ends of problems. Gave the ball away with Lucas Torreira. This is completely down to me and my fault. I should not be giving Robert Lewandowski that much time and space inside that area. And it's a great pass through, and Carrasco beats Paul Lopez to the ball, finishes it. It's Bayern 1, Hamburg 0. And there's no ends of problems with that goal for me. I've got to do better. We have to be closer. Torreira, you could say, shouldn't have given the ball away initially. But as I said, the press from Bayern was really good. They stopped me playing at the same game I wanted to. Possession-wise, we didn't dominate like we used to. And that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was very, very difficult to find my feet in this game. But Sakai comes forward. Lovely 1-2 exchange with Arp. Eventually gets there ahead of Alaba. Squeezes a shot away, but good defending from Manuel Neuer. Comes out quickly to avert the danger. And I felt like at this point we could actually potentially nick a draw. We hadn't been great. But this moment right here, Davies' delivery, and it's just that bounce didn't help us. Rebic eventually gets in, shoots. It's saved initially, blocked. And unfortunately, that's it. I mean, he's brilliant. Manole's brilliant, but he skied the rebound. And that was a sky because it ended up being a goal kick. So where he has been sensational throughout this season for us, he's going to have those moments because he is only 16 at the end of the day. He is still a kid, and for large parts, teams wouldn't even have him at his side. So unfortunately, he misses the biggest chance of the game for us. To make matters worse, we get a red card to Alphonso Davies, which is a very harsh red card. It's not a penalty in my opinion. Goes down very easy. Lewandowski from the spot to send Bayern 2-0 in front. It's going to be agonising if we concede this because we don't deserve a 2-0 defeat. But he misses. It comes back off the crossbar. My problem now is that Alphonso Davies is actually out for the next 3 games. A straight red card means that he will miss the next 3 games. So there we go. Going to be without him for them. And they are quite important as well, because we do have Roma coming up, which he will be able to play him because he's actually in the continental side of things. But the party can't start just yet. 6 more games to go. 9 points clear of Bayern. So there is still that possibility that we will win the league. We've just got to kind of buy our time, wait for it. Goal difference-wise, we're miles ahead, so we don't have to worry about that. And I think it's safe to say we will be league champions, but we can't start the party just yet. So let's wait until the next episode and make sure we get it done. Until then, though, guys, that will be out tomorrow as it has been daily for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you did enjoy it, a like really appreciate it. As always, thank you all for your continued support, and I'll catch you all soon. Adios.